Welcome to a series called the Book of Enoch, where we're going through the Book of Enoch, verse by verse. And we are doing this from a cave. When I was very prayerful about doing this series, God said, sure, just do it from a cave. I don't know what that was, but I'm obedient to that because I prayed for about a year on this before I started the series. And what I got from God was, it's okay, but here's where I want you to do it. And it's interesting doing it because I think a lot of it has to do with this book being hidden. And now it's being revealed. To many people, including myself. A lot of people have not taken the chance to go through the Book of Enoch. Jude quoted the Book of Enoch, said, according to the prophecy of Enoch, and then quoted the Book of Enoch. So it's incredibly important that we see him as a prophet. And where we are is he was petitioning on behalf of the fallen angels who laid with women and gave rise to a race of Nephilim. And he received a vision in his dream, and he's talking about where he was taken up in the spirit to the throne room of God. Which we talked about last time and compared it to what John saw when he was taken up in the spirit to the throne room of God. So we're just going to pick it up there. Enoch 14, we'll go back to 19. And from underneath the throne came streams of flame, fire, so that it could not look thereon. And the great glory sat thereon, and his raiment shone more brightly than the sun, and is whiter than any snow. None of the angels could enter and could behold his face by reason of the magnificence and glory, and no flesh could behold him. All right, this is fascinating because one thing that I have learned through the Book of Enoch is angels are very much like humans, very much like humans. Obviously more powerful, but when they take on human form, and even when they don't, like when Enoch talked to him, they trembled with fear. They wept when they were sad. They covered their heads and lamented. Like their reaction is the same as ours. Like when you're scared, sometimes you'll start to shake. Or your body will react different ways. When you're sad, you'll cry or sob uncontrollably, and the angels are the same way, and that's what's so beautiful about seeing this. But not only that, but we can't gaze upon the glory of the Lord. Like when Noah wanted to look at God, he said, "No, you can't look at me, but I'll create. I'll surround you by rocks, and I'll create a tiny little hole, and you can see my backside. But other than that, you'll die. You will vaporize if you gaze upon my face." And that's the same thing for the angels. So they literally have to go into the throne room, but they're separated. And it's interesting because when we see John's version of this, God is surrounded by elders, but the angels are further away. Really kind of fascinating to just kind of really see them more in a human way. Because even when Abraham was visited by three men, they ate meals. They talked with their mouths, so they were able to digest food. They were able to then God took human form. He stayed with Abraham while the two other men, the angels, went off to visit Lot in Sodom, and they wanted to rape them. And they probably could have biologically, because if they're eating food, not to get gross, but they're biological. They are a creation of God that is very similar to humans when they take on human form. So let's keep going. The flaming fire was round about him, and a great fire stood before him, and none around could draw nigh him. 10,000 times 10,000 stood before him, yet he needed no counselor. All right, I always find it fascinating to go through, to look anytime somebody goes in the throne room of God, my ears perk up. I want to hear what that's like. So I'm going to go to that moment where he sees the same thing, because we talked about that last time. But here, what he's seeing is those who are around him. We're going to go to Revelation. Then I looked and heard the voice of many angels around the throne, the living creatures and the elders, and the number of them was 10,000 times 10,000 of thousands, saying with a loud voice, "Worthy is the Lamb who has been slain to receive power and riches and wisdom and strength and honor and glory and blessing." So what Enoch and John are really, they're looking into the same room and they're seeing the same setup of how people are arranged and how angels are arranged and elders and the living creatures are arranged. What John is seeing is when the blood of the Lamb is laying out to God to redeem mankind, which would then allows the scrolls to be able for prophecy to move forward. Whereas in what Enoch is seeing is still the same throne room, but kind of almost like the same courtroom, but a different case, so to say. What he's seeing is more of the petition of what's going on with the fallen watchers, which does have a lot to do with the redemption of mankind as well. So there you go. Really a beautiful thing. We'll just keep digging through the Book of Enoch. It's so fascinating. Any thoughts or insights you might have on it, definitely put that below. Do you want to take a moment and say, if you feel called, please consider being a patron of this channel. It greatly increases our ability to produce content in the face of algorithm diversity and problems with the algorithm content because of gun content. It allows us just to create what we want more freely without worrying about that sort of thing. So that link is also below. But the most important part of this channel is we take prayer requests, so never hesitate to send that in. Thank you for watching this episode of God, Family, and Guns. And as always, love God, love your family, love guns.